How familiar does this sound to you? You're in a conversation. The other person keeps talking and talking. You're ready for it to end because you've got somewhere to be or something else to do. And yet it keeps dragging on and you stay. I used to experience this a lot in my work settings. There was one manager in particular who could talk for what seemed like forever without really saying anything. Meetings would overrun, conversations would drift, and there wasn't a clear point where it naturally ended, or where he managed to successfully make his point. At the time, I was squeezing a full-time job into part-time hours, which meant my hours were tight, my time precious. I didn't have space in my day for things that weren't necessary, and I knew that. I could feel it while I was sitting there. I could feel when the conversation was no longer useful. I could feel when it had gone past the point of being productive. I could feel that I had other more important things I needed to get on with instead. There was a very clear awareness, and still I stayed. I didn't interrupt. I didn't bring it to a close. I didn't say I needed to leave. I just sat there, listening, waiting for it to end. And usually it didn't, not for quite some time. Knowing there's a problem doesn't stop it happening, because in those moments, it's not about saying yes or no to something new. It's about what you're allowing to continue. The conversation is already happening. The time is already being taken. There's a point where you're aware that it's no longer working for you, and yet nothing changes. That's a very different kind of boundary. It's not a decision at the start. It's something you would have to step into in real time. You have to interrupt and shift the dynamic. You have to bring something to a close that the other person is still in. And that's where it becomes uncomfortable. So instead, you let it continue, because that's less uncomfortable, even though it's costly for you. This kind of scenario happens more often than people realize. Conversations that go on longer than they need to. Meetings that don't actually have much substance. Time that gets taken in small, quiet ways that don't seem significant in the moment. And yet when it repeats over, and it does, it quickly adds up. Your day gets squeezed, your energy drops. You start feeling like you don't have enough time, even though a chunk of it is being lost in moments just like this. All the time during the conversation, the meeting, the one-sided interaction, the awareness is there. You know what's happening. You know it's not a good use of your time. You know you'd be much better off doing something else. However, simply knowing doesn't change the situation, because upholding a boundary in a moment like that requires something most people haven't been shown how to do. It requires you to stay with your awareness and act on it while the situation is still unfolding, without waiting for it to end on its own. And without the tools to do that, most people simply don't. They wait. They sit. They let it continue. And then later they wonder where all their time went. I know that was certainly my personal experience back in the past. This is exactly why my Energy Boundaries course is invaluable, because in it, I show you how to actually hold your boundaries in real situations, just like this.